Welcome back to the Arizona Daily Update. Today is August 21st, and this is my second time filming this. I didn't realize that my screen was not recording the first time, which is just awesome news, but hey, second time's the better time. So the way that these videos work out is I show you proof that I do the thing and I sell millions of dollars in real estate every single year inside of Arizona. Hopefully this lets you know that I somewhat know what I'm talking about. Then I cover local news and stories that you might want to know about if you're local to the area or looking to move to Arizona. Then we build in public, share something knowledgeable that I'm thinking about in the market of today, and the Cromford report market update week over to make sure that the real estate housing market is doing better or worse, and regardless, you are updated in that. So first thing we're going to go over real quick is going to be the proof for today. If you look at it here, my business partner and I, Templeton Walker, both have somewhat unique names, so you are more than welcome to search this yourself if you don't trust my screenshots. But we have sold over, right here, 600 homes in the last 5 years. We currently have 2 luxury listings. We have 2 buyers under contract, and for rent, we have a luxury listing here in Gilbert. Here are the sold data points. You can see 565 with a bunch of dates, addresses, all that good stuff. But that's not the majority of the things we do here, which is we like to do a lot of off-market fix and flips or sell to other investors. So we've done 500 homes in the last 5+ years, 100 plus homes fix and flipped, and then 100 plus off-market deals to other fix and flippers. So starting off here, we have Sonic, which is what we called it. It was Sanuk in, I want to say this was a South Gilbert Circle G Ranch property. We got this one, my business partner's LLC is right here, in 2022, sold it to the entity that we flipped it in together, and sold for 2.65 after buying it for 1.25. So here is just example number 1. Then we have 79th Street, which is near TPC, Waste Management Open. If you've seen one of these videos before, you should understand by now. This is the settlement statement. This is the sales price. And this is all the good stuff that shows us, hopefully, you at least somewhat trust that we know what we're doing and talking about. Not a lot of real estate agents are doing this many deals. They may only be doing 1 or 2 a year, and let alone are they flipping $2 million mansions or $1 million really cute dope houses next to the Waste Management Open. Not everyone's doing these things, so, take that for what it is and how you want to take my opinion. So the first story today, still recording, a little nervous after that last incident. The first story today is Scottsdale biotech company Jacosta raises $35 million to advance dementia treatment. So the big news in this story is this was an Illinois company that moved to Scottsdale in January, and they just closed on a $35 million Series A round the company announced around 9 days ago. This company here has been testing out its proprietary A-clotho protein compound through phase 1 development. This includes single and multiple ascending dose studies, and they plan to submit an investigational new drug application with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in late 2026. They've been testing it so far, I believe, on rats, and they have seen right here, it mentions animal models of neurodegeneration significantly improved their cognitive impairment associated with models of Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease in mice. So this is super cool to see. What's even cooler to see is that they did relocate to Scottsdale, and here they mentioned that they can be closer to their leading peers in San Francisco. So another great reason why people are moving to Arizona. We don't have the bills and the expenses of being right next to Silicon Valley, but we have still a lot closer of a drive than if you were, or flight, pick your poison, if you were in somewhere like Austin or New York. So Arizona is located in a very great spot if that's what you're looking to do, and it's going to be really exciting to see how this development goes. I know my family had some history with, I don't remember now if it is Alzheimer's or dementia, but it's tough. And for anyone that has a similar family member, you understand that it's not easy. So if they can figure out something in the next 30 years, I think we'd all appreciate it, especially the younger generation, so we can make sure we take care of our parents. The next, we're going to pivot to a little more fun of a story, lighten up the mood a bit. Glendale officials say peacocks are costing thousands of dollars damaging property. The city listens issues of those who want the birds to be protected. So right now, Glendale, Arizona has about 300, I believe it was, peacocks, and they are, excuse my language, mute this part if you don't like it, shitting everywhere. I would say they're pooping, but they're not. They are shitting everywhere. And it is driving the city mad. Everyone loves the birds because they are beautiful. They are flamboyantly awesome in the way that they spread their wings. Like, the whole thing is awesome. But the issue is, 1, the poop. And the second is they are damaging both cars and city equipment, anything that has somewhat of a reflection to it, which is interesting because you can see here, the city says that they've damaged residential solar panels and a city chiller to the tune of more than $50,000 in repairs. So that's not great. They also have been attacking cars. So when they get near a car, or this one's jumped on top of the hood of one, they look down. If it is not a dirty car and it is clean, they see the reflection. And then whether it's panic or they feel that fight or flight mode, I don't know. They might just be seeing themselves and wanting to kiss themselves, who knows, because they start pecking. And these are all peck marks. All of these. This is from the peacock. All of that. It's insane, and I would have never thought about it. Seeing a peacock walk around in Arizona, super cool, but we don't think about the other side of it. So the city's trying to figure out what to do with them. I believe they're going to send 60 of them or so to Texas A&M for research purposes. So we'll see. I don't love the idea of having to shrink a population of peacocks because I don't know what that entails. I kind of do and I kind of don't. So who knows? We'll see how that story unfolds. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to be a part of it regardless. I don't want to stop those peacocks. Let them do their thing. Next up, we have Mesa Riverview, which is opening a bunch of new spots, which is freaking awesome. It got rid of a Joann's, I believe, in the making of this, but there's casualty of war. 3 new businesses featuring baseball, pickleball, and slides open at Mesa Riverview. So the first one is going to be Dink and Dine Pickle Park. This is going to have 13 pickleball courts spanning indoor and outdoor areas. It is going to be just south of the Bass Pro Shop, and it is going to be, it's already opened. So yesterday at 6 a.m., which is awesome. And if you're curious, here is that address. You can write that down or screenshot this video right now. But if you look up the Bass Pro Shop near right here, right next to Stone Park, Riverview Park, right where the North 202 and the 101 connect. And there's only so many Bass Pro Shops anyways. If you put that in your GPS, you should be in a good spot. So next up, we have Slick City Action Park, which is famous for its twin turbo slides that feature UV reactive paint that makes them glow. This is a first for the company, according to representatives. The Slick City Action Park represents the company's 5th Valley location, housing a former Burlington store spanning over 42,000 square feet. If you love The Office, you know we love Burlington Coat Factory, but again, another casualty that I think I'm okay with. This is going to be, here's that Bass Pro Shop, here's a pickleball, right here is going to be Slick City Action Park. And then next up, we have a really cool Taiwanese baseball arcade sort of situation. Let's Play Ball, Taroko Sports, a flagship brand in the US, there's only one location so far, is opening its 2nd location, but it's first in Arizona, with nearly 18,000 square feet indoor complex. That is going to include batting cages, electronic darts, miniature bowling, an arcade, and more. And it's an interesting take on the whole situation. You can see here, baseball is a sport where batting cages have always been awesome, but I'm not an aficionado. Whenever I go, it's typically a handful of them in like a circle kind of formation, and you're sitting and you're swinging, and it's cool, but this seems super cool, and I would love to check it out. It says, our goal is to make baseball fun and accessible, not just for athletes, but for everyone, which I'll definitely be honest, I have felt in my less athletic years, baseball was a bit harder, especially the hand-eye coordination. So I'm excited for this and definitely want to check it out with some of my friends. That building, by the way, is going to be not here. It's going to be right next to the Slick City Action Park. And where that is in the big picture things, we got Bass Pro Shop, we got the pickleball place right here, Slick City Action Park, and then Taroko Sports. All right, lastly, we have Fazoli's, which I could be saying that wrong. I'm so sorry, but they're opening up. Here is that pickleball place, that Bass Pro Shop, just to the southeast. They're opening up a location in Mesa Riverview that helped the restaurant return to Arizona, which is following its debut location inside the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. So super cool to see. Next up, we have, this is going to be downtown Chandler news, which, by the way, huge downtown Chandler guy. My business partner, Hamilton, he owns, I don't know, call it 8 or 9 homes in the downtown Chandler area. He owns a old sports bar, the El Coyote, if you know who that is or where that is. I used to work out of here, right at this building here. It's going to be called the Jonathan. It's right across the street from Santam Brewing Company. It is an area that is close to our hearts. And this corner building specifically has always been a talking point because it's just struggled with ownership. This building right here, the Look Dine-In Cinemas, it is, so-so. I went there for a couple movies. I like to say I support local and I like to support them, but it was never anything fantastic. And I believe they went out of business. God, it would have been earlier this year or maybe sometime last year. It's hard to keep up because this is the building here. This is the dining area. This is the movie theaters where you can dine in here. Was actually a different company before, Flicks Brew House, which was the same thing. Dine in movies, brew hub, same sort of setup. It might even be the exact. Okay, so they changed the branding, but it's the same situation, right? They went from yellow to green. It just always kind of struggled. So now they are turning it into, drum roll. Can I get a drum roll? Right here, brewery and pickleball and paddle courts to replace former Chandler movie theater. Padel, if you're fancy. So paddle is a sport that is more popular outside of the U.S., but it is picking up speed. If you watch anything Andrew Schultz related, you'll know about paddle because that's all he talks about. New York is popular, and it is coming to Arizona. It's not quite as popular as pickleball, but I kind of think of it as pickleball 2.0 or 3.0. We went from tennis to pickleball to padel. It's just one of those things. I don't know how long it will last, but for right now, it's interesting. And anything indoor in Arizona, I am all for because these summers are brutal to find anything to do outside. So Paddleland is a new concept coming to downtown Chandler that will feature indoor courts for popular racket sports, pickleball, and paddle. But it'll have much more. So this is in that facility. That's 35,000 square feet. You can compare rooms here. Here are the brewery items, and here were they here, right? So it's a little bit more open floor plan, a little more open concept, but this is the cool part. All of this, and there's a lot of 2 stories. If I'm being honest, I don't know how this is going to sound because pickleball is not, if you're not playing it and you're just there to eat food, it's kind of obnoxious. So people here, I'm guessing, are only going to be eating here if they're actually partaking in the activities or maybe you're in a group event. I don't think anyone else is just going to wander into here. Because just all the noise, which I guess isn't really a bad thing, right? It's also going to have a wellness lounge at Paddleland to include cold plunge therapy, a sauna, and recovery tools. There is nothing better than sharing a cold plunge with a bunch of random strangers. I love that. Oh, goodness. So I'm excited to see what happens here because the movie theater, I mean, it just wasn't working out. So I'm all for something filling the space. Seeing this massive cornerstone building being empty for so long is tough. I mean, what's even tougher is seeing this Jack in the Box, just the lone Jack in the Box that's been in this dirt lot for years now. That's also hard, but, one thing at a time. Lastly, let's wrap it up with the Cromford report. So because I'm doing these earlier in the day, this doesn't take over to the 21st. So I'm just going to be updating them a day late. And that's okay. I just updated it because, again, I just told you I filmed the full video of this already. I keep looking over here to make sure it's still recording. So we had a 77, now we're at 77.2. What I believe happened here is this got slightly better, and this got slightly better, more into the green. So I think this dropped from 99.1 to 99, and then I think this went from 76.3 to 76.4. So we saw 0.2 change, 1 and 1 added together, 0.2, and that is why we see this number here. So nothing crazy. The market has continuously improved for the last 4 weeks. Small improvements, but we'll take it, right? If we can get closer to a neutral market, that is better for everybody. Although if you're a buyer right now, it's really great for you specifically. Next up, we have contract ratio. This is something that I want to go over. One of those things that I'm looking at in the moment, which is contract ratio equals the pending number of contracts. So anything that is UCB, under contract backup, pending regular, under contract, contingent on another property, anything that would be considered under contract, divided by the number of active properties, and then multiplied by 100 so we can get a percentage. Higher contract ratio, the bigger the number, means more demand relative to supply. Lower contract ratio means weaker demand relative to supply. So why this is interesting is there is a different heat map for every area inside of Arizona. If we go to this tab, and then let's zoom over here, it's interesting here, right? Because every city is somewhat warm right now, except, most interestingly enough, the map's a little slow lag. A lot of Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, some Phoenix, kind of like that Arcadia, Biltmore area, that is all cold. And then you get on here into Ahwatukee, we got some Chandler, some Mesa, some South Gilbert. This is all a somewhat balanced to warm market. But now we have here 85233, which has the islands in it. This is actually a hot market. So what's interesting is if you were shopping for a home and you were, let's call it indifferent on where you're looking. If you just avoided 85233, you would have a better opportunity to purchase because there'd be less competition and just less happening in the area. So when you're a buyer and you don't really care as much of where you're living, as long as you're, let's say you want to live by downtown Chandler and you're good with, a 10-mile radius, then we could find you a spot that's more balanced or ideally cold, to purchase. So if you went to me and you said, hey Cole, I want to buy in Scottsdale, I would say, are you more comfortable with some South Scottsdale? Because you're going to get a lot better deal there than if you were to go to North Scottsdale and into this section here. Then if you told me, hey, I want a home in that West Side, Peoria, Glendale, Surprise area, I would say, does it have to be 85310? Because that's going to be one of the more hot areas. Or could we just go south and go 85308, 85382, 85383? It's interesting because every area we're not seeing anything super unbelievable hot or super unbelievable cold. It's just balancing on that cold to warm teeter, right? So we'll see how this changes over time. But if you're shopping for a home, understanding stuff like this is nice because you could be just a mile or a zip code away from getting a far better deal. We talked about last episode that myself included in the market stats are getting around 10,000 concessions off for the buyers every single time. We like to aim for higher, but that's just the market average. And if you are shopping with someone that knows what they're doing, you can get far better rates, far better discounts, and just, I don't know, have fun. I mean, come on. Why can't we have a little fun every once in a while? So this was August 21st. Market update for you in Arizona. Take number 2. I like to think it was even better. Let's go. If you want this whimsical board, it's going to be linked down in the description. Everything that I do on these is going to be on here, staying for you. I love it. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.